Hey, what's going on, Facebook? It is that time for the word of the day, Wednesday, and thought I'd take a little break in light of everything that has happened this past week. If you don't know, I'm about 10 miles away from the campfire, which destroyed the town of Paradise, and only a few houses remain in this town that had like 27,000 people. And so, it's been on my mind. I'm just seeing a lot of people at work and, hearing their stories and everything. And so I'm going to take a little pause not actually a little pause, but I'm going to go to a different part of the Bible. It still actually has to do with David because, still, walking slowly through David's life. But one of the verses or chapters that I feel like God really wanted to share with anybody that's watching this video. Maybe you've been affected by the fires. Maybe you've been displaced. Maybe you have family that's been displaced or affected by the fires. I hope you get encouragement from this. And so it's from a famous psalm, Psalm 23. This is David talking, and a lot of the psalms were actually written in the parts that I've been talking about in these Word of the Day Wednesdays. Times where, man, David was being chased by Saul. Times where, man, he's been displaced, and out and kind of down and out, and all these different things that we've been talking about. He's writing, and a lot of them are just like, man, God, like, what's going on? Like, how could you let this happen? And David, man, is just frank and real with God. And I feel like it really, man, is an encouragement to us when we're going through a hard time. Like, man, we could shout at God, like, why is this happening? I know I was doing that yesterday, and God can handle it. And so looking at Psalm 23, this isn't one where he's kind of shouting, but man, it really speaks. It says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures." And, I feel like sometimes, or not sometimes, but in this trying time, it's like, well, where's the green? All I see is black. All I see is, man, burnt, remains where, man, my home, where my life, used to be, right? But he is still a shepherd, and there is going to be growth that happens to push the black away. He leads me beside still waters. You may feel like your life is in chaos right now, and you gotta turn to the shepherd. You gotta turn to God, because that's where he can lead you to peace, to still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. And this is the verse I really want to key in. It says, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." All right. And, I was thinking about, man, just the valley, right? Where Paradise, the town that had this tragedy, was up on a mountain, and it caused a lot of people to come down into the valley of Chico. I think my geography is correct on that. And it's crazy, right? It's like, man, the one thing that David didn't do was camp out in the valley of the shadow of death. He didn't pitch a tent in the valley of the shadow of death, right? And I feel like a lot of times when we're going through a hard time, when we're going through times where we don't understand, we just kind of camp out in that frustration. We can kind of camp out in that despair and that discouragement and just feel like what else can I do? But I feel like David really shows us, right? It's like, I walk through. And that's what I feel like God is wanting to encourage you with. It's like, you may not, man, know, man, the future, or, man, what the future holds. But I want to encourage you to, man, just take a step. It may be, asking for help. It may be, calling the insurance company or whatever the case may be. It may be just kind of getting things in order. And I see a lot of people doing this, and I'm proud of you guys for doing it. It's just, man, it's a tragic circumstance. But just like David, keep walking, like, just one foot in front of the other. And here's the thing, right? The valley of the shadow of death. You can't have a shadow without light, right? You can't have a shadow without light. And so even though it seems like there's death all around, there is a shining light. And one of the things that I've seen is just, man, how willing and able people are to come support and come alongside. And man, it's been amazing to see humanity. It's like there's no political conversations. It's like whatever people believe. It's just like, nah, like, man, there are people in need and there's people that need help. And I feel like that's kind of the light that David saw when he was in the valley of death, right? That man, there's a shadow because there is light. And so, I don't know what you have been going through in this past week, but man, I just want to, let you know that I'm praying. I'm praying for all the people that I know personally that have been affected by these fires, and I hurt with you, and man, I can just tell you right now that, Remedy Life Church, we are doing everything that we can to help. We actually have an event coming up on Saturday where we have trucks of supplies and everything coming to the Sears parking lot at where the mall is, just to lend a hand, in this trying time, and so.